On my channel, we bring patterns together. And today I will bring together the pattern of the hyperfunctioning griefer and the pattern of the child that fell into the double betrayal trap, which leaves an imprint in the aura. It's like a trauma imprint that leads to a repetition in their life. But you must be patient. First, I want to speak about daydreaming and making plans, and about insanity and how insanity can become reality. Because you need to understand, the day before yesterday I ran 10 miles, which used to be my long distance run. After this, I did a 1 hour David Goggins workout, which I have on stream. You can watch it on my channel, which used to waste me completely. And now the day after this, I'm running 20 miles from the valley where I live onto the highest mountain in the area. And this is insane. So it's today's Sunday morning and I just woke up. Of course, I felt the workout a little bit, and I do in my stretching routine, some mobility, some, the Wing Chun form, whatever. And I'm putting on my running clothes and I just go running very early. I see, my neighbors, I hear how they make their coffee and light a cigarette, going very comfortably and chilled into the Sunday morning. I go running through the village, and in the bakery I smell the fresh bread, and I see the people who are very early up and they get the first croissants, and everybody's just taking care of their family. The sun is rising and I leave all of this behind me. And at this point I couldn't believe myself, because it's insane. I'm in the valley and I want to go on that mountain that is like 10 miles away, 400 or 500 meters higher level, through forest, and all of a sudden I find myself running in the forest. So the village and the valley is behind me. I get the fresh air of the forest, and I get into my rhythm, and my mind starts to make the plan, because I remember the ways in the forest. I know this forest very well because I was running all my life. People could never put me in a box. Who is this? I mean, I'm a 42-year-old man who is living with in a co-parenting situation, meaning I have my children 50% of the time and I'm taking care of them alone. But I do this strange, extreme workouts and running. I don't know, I don't fit in a box, okay? But I'm also not very, not very outgoing. I'm rather, I don't know the English word for it. But anyway, there are stations to it. When I'm running through the forest, I pass certain stages, and it's always like one passage is behind me. I get in the flow, and then I reach the next station, and then I have to get in the flow again. And at some point, when I was at some station in the forest, I knew, okay, from here now, there's no going back. And this is a point where this insanity, because it feels insane, even though I knew my body can do it, because I know my body well, but it felt insane to run my longest distance the day after this, do a 1 hour David Goggins workout, and the day after this go back to the absolute extreme runs that I used to do back in the days. And this is how daydreaming can lead to plans, and knowing yourself can lead to overcoming these limits of false beliefs, you know. And doing irrational things can lead to successful outcomes, because it's irrational what I did, but it worked. It's possible. Now, on these runs, especially on these extended runs, I can do a lot of mental work. And what I realized is I bring together patterns, is what I told you. And the pattern I want to bring together is, I described on my channel the pattern of the hyperfunctioning griefer. As I told you, people can put me in a box, but that's what I am. You know, they used to think I'm a person with dreadlocks. I had dreadlocks, and a smoker. So I'm a weirdo who smokes weed, but occasionally goes running without a shirt in the forest. And we really don't understand that weirdo, whoever it is. We just can't box him in some way. You know, he's strange. Now today they think the same thing, except I'm not smoking anymore and I don't have dreadlocks. By the way, I think I smoke weed because I am the child that fell into the trap of double betrayal that I will explain to you soon. This is why I smoked, probably, and I also got rejected by a parental figure for the reason I smoke. So I started to smoke because there was a parental problem. And as a result for this, I was rejected or criticized. Now I stop smoking and get rejected again, you know. And this is this double rejection pattern, by the way. So what I realized, I put together these patterns while running, while the oxygen of the forest and the rhythm of the running synchronizes brain halves and so all of this, and I get the confidence of being able to overcome problems that are that nobody would believe is possible. And now what I have realized is, let's go to the hyperfunctioning griefer first. I might put it in, look, you can check the description later. I might make an updated version of the hyperfunctioning griefer together with a pattern of the double betrayal. But let's go at it now. The hyperfunctioning griefer is a person that represses grief in order to stay functioning, because they are pushed in a difficult situation. They are empathetic. They carry the logs and the boats for others. And therefore they end up in difficult situations where they have to put themselves second, because they first try to save everybody else, then they realize it's not a problem, but that's a time when they're in deep trouble and have to keep functioning just to keep their head over water. And to do all of this, they have no time to process grief and take care of themselves. By the way, an advice to all of you: use your parental reflexes and your mercy only for children, not for grown-ups. When you see a grown-up person that presents themselves as a victim and tries to sneak in through your parental reflexes to take care of them, run as fast as you can. In most cases, these are parasitic predators. Anyway, now this is the hyperfunctioning griefer, a person that is the underdog, working hard just to get by. You know what I'm saying? This is them, not complaining, tugging it out, however, you know. And the double betrayal trap is actually, you have a family, a marriage, and there is a partner who has an insatiable need for validation, whether it's cerebral or sexual, doesn't matter, and or any kind of validation. And this leads to a high custody divorce situation, and children are now, you know, and the person who was breaking this up, who is the real reason for it, will present themselves as a victim. The person who has this insatiable thirst for novelty, for a selfish need of validation, will cry the loudest, present themselves as a victim. The children are by nature empathetic and will side with the victim. And then the children have the first betrayal, which is the betrayal that the family is broken now, because the grown-up people could not settle their conflict and could not regulate their own emotional needs amongst each other. So the regulation goes to the children now, meaning parents are divorced. Children have to decide where to spend time. The child can't be with both parents at both times. This is the first betrayal. The second betrayal is when they choose the side of this person who had this insatiable need for validation and portrays themselves as the victim of the situation, and children choose this to go to this person. This person will use the children to maintain their own emotional actually stability and their significance as a parent. And they will also try to get empathy from the children for that what happened, meaning they reverse parenting. They need attention from their children to bridge the difficult situation of being alone now. But as soon as they have a new partner, and they will need a new partner very quick, because sometimes they already have them, because they need this validation. And as soon as this partner enters the house, the space where the children are put second again, meaning they are betrayed the second time. And this betrayal hurts very much, because the children chose the side of the victim, and now the victim betrays them again, which means children internalize the shame and the guilt. For them, parents are godlike figures that can make no mistake. So who is the problem here? The child. And especially if the parents say you are the problem, it becomes even worse. So I bring together these patterns of the hyperfunctioning griefer and this child that fell into this trap. And now what I've realized in my personal case is that I had a parental figure that showed traits of hypermasculinity, toxic masculinity, meaning being prideful, taking no criticism, having a dickhead, being very stubborn, and always have to decide and always have to win. Persons who can lose, who always have to win. Hyper-competitive, hyper-masculine. And I realized that I chose a partner for myself to create my own family that also had these hyper-masculine traits. So yes, these hyper-masculine traits, toxic masculinity, can also be in the body of a woman. And I subconsciously chose a partner that has the same traits as the caretaker that I chose in a high custody divorce situation. And it is a partner with hypermasculine, toxic masculine traits, being goal-oriented, being stubborn, having to win at all costs, being unable to take criticism, and having to have the last word to decide, hypercompetitiveness. So I subconsciously chose this. And this means I go through the betrayal again, and my children have to go through the same betrayal also, because I never, the thing is, they go through the same high custody divorce situation. But what I realize is I can break this pattern, I can break the cycle by never rejecting my children. And I never did. When I left this family that I created, I chose my children when I did this, because I offered them something different, and I have never rejected them. I chose them when I left this family. This is what I realized. And I do something that I have not seen in the parenting of all the parents involved in this, what I said right now, the generations, you know, the last generation and this generation, nobody did what I did. Meaning fighting for their children as well as unconditionally taking care of them and never rejecting them. I have not seen anyone doing this. I have only seen parts of these generations, you know, behind me, some of them never rejecting a children but not fighting for them. And I have seen some of them fighting for them but rejecting them. I have never seen the combination that what I do. So this is how to break cycles. Because I can't take away the rejection, or I can't undo the betrayal that happened through the selfish attempt of a partner that has an insatiable need for validation and cannot live with healthy boundaries. I can't take away this from them. I can only offer them something different. So I've realized that, and this second betrayal is just so painful for children when they are put second after a step part, you know, it's not even a stepfather or stepmother, but after this other person that comes, and you know, this is just too hard. And I believe it's possible if you have very highly elaborate, socialized, super sensitive people, they can carefully not even enter a family, but live with a family and being like a friend to the children, probably. But I've never experienced people who are able to do this, but I believe that it is the possibility. But the people who I know are too dirty and unhygienic to do this. Absolutely dirty. All right? So that being said, it was hard work to put all of this together. And I did this through the workouts and the running. This is my way to process all of this. And I just wanted to share it and put it in this diary form so I can also revisit my progress in all of this. Thank you for listening. See you in the next video.